Knock 2 Studios presents Common Censored. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Common Censored. Thanks for being here, all of you censored commoners. I'm Lord Sterling, and this is episode 339. The commie judge, CHUTKAN folds Elon to remain at the helm of DOGE. False flag drone armed with a warhead hits Chernobyl. Wow. We're in the middle of peace talks and you're false flagging yourself with nukes? Probably not the best idea if you want to keep President Trump on your side. Just saying. Really stupid fucking plan, Zelensky. God, these people are stupid. Trump to nationalize the Federal Reserve? Maybe. D.C. is panicking also as Trump shreds the bureaucracy, searches for lawyers, for offshore banking accounts, for statute of limitations skyrocketing in D.C. They know they're fucked. They're doing everything they can to try to save their asses, to CYA, so to speak. Make sure to join us Monday through Friday, 6:45 p.m.-ish Eastern Time as we cover all the crazy clown world clusterfuck chaos that is 2025 thus far. Make sure to use hashtag CommonCensored and hashtag InfoInfantry where applicable when you share the show. You can find us on X at Lord Sterling _. That's Sterling with 2 I's and no E's. We're also on Truth, Getter, Gab, and Minds. Thanks again to our new followers over on Rumble. Appreciate you guys. Links to all the sources for everything we covered today will be posted in the video description on Rumble after the termination of the broadcast, as well as in the replies under the X broadcast window. Mama Mac will be adding timestamps as we go, so if you're watching this later on and need to maximize the efficiency of your time and focus and attention, click on down there, find the topics that interest you, and jump right to the point in the show where we cover it. Thanks, Mama Mac. Show Mama Mac some love, throw Mama Mac some love, and hit up alplama.com. Alplama, yo mama, so to speak, your new herbal health guru. Got some testimony from Jeannie, Mama Mac, who's been using the lion's mane, and it's been helping her retain a full head of hair as well, which is pretty interesting. I think bringing back her taste and smell. So that's pretty awesome stuff. More positive testimonies for alplama.com. Great job, Mama Mac. And if you want to support the show directly, you can hit up our link tree at Common Censored. Thanks in advance for keeping the lights blinding my eyes. Disclaimer. Views expressed on Common Censored are only opinions. Assume everything we say is false and research for yourself. We're not giving medical, legal, or financial advice. The only advice we are giving is think for yourself. Question authority. Think for yourself. Question authority. Boom! Let's jump into the news. I like this one, man. This was kind of going viral today. President Trump appears to give one of the Marines at Joint Base Andrews a challenge coin as he steps off of Marine One before boarding Air Force One. Take a look at this. Comes down, transfers the challenge coin to his right hand, gives it to this Marine. Little closer up view. And this is particularly cool because if brick suits analysis is right over here, President Trump, given the challenge coin, look at this friggin' thing, man. Trump's new 2025 POTUS challenge coin is dope. Oh, it's lined with crystal. It's got gold, it's got silver, it's got like all the coolest stuff. Awesome presidential seal on one side and Trump coat of arms on the other side. It looks freaking amazing. That thing is sick. I am jealous. I will just leave it at that. Oh man. If you ever get one of those, hold on to it. That's going to be a collector's item right there. Look how huge it is. It's got to be like 45 millimeters, something like that. Like it is large. It is large, much bigger than your average challenge coin. Right, Indel? Friggin' awesome, dude. Wood Geek, agreed. So cool. So cool. So kudos to that guy. He earned it. He got all the way up to that position. He got to meet the president, and the president gave him a challenge coin. So cool. So cool. Ben over at Veteran Biker, he was given a challenge coin by President Trump too, during the last administration, I believe. So that's pretty awesome. Congratulations to those guys. That's right, Donna. We all jelly. We all jelly. How about this one? Trump administration terminates potentially over 200,000 probationary workers across the federal government. Yeah, bye-bye. The Trump administration has executed Order 66. Sorry, has executed one of the largest workforce reductions in federal history, terminating over 200,000 probationary employees across various government agencies. This bold move, as reported by multiple sources, proud and bold. What did they say about the trannies? It's big and beautiful and bold. This bold and beautiful move, as reported by multiple sources, underscores President Trump's commitment to his promise of reducing the size of government and ensuring that taxpayer dollars are spent wisely. According to the latest data from the Office of Personnel Management, there were approximately 220,000 federal workers who had not yet completed their probationary period. As of March 2024, that's 220,000 people we can boot. Booyah! An additional 288,000 employees had between 1 and 2 years of service at that time, according to GBH. These are not the same thing as GHB, just to clarify. These are individuals who, under civil service laws, can be let go without the extensive legal processes required for removing tenured employees. Tulip McGroin. Oh, it's Valentine's Day, isn't it, today? That's right. That's right. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you. Cannabis connoisseur. Trannies, automatic or manual? Hybrid. What is it called? The DSG. DSG. That's what it is. The administration's directive to agency heads was clear. Evaluate and terminate those who have not met performance standards or whose positions are deemed non-essential in the pursuit of leaner, more effective government operations. Non-essential. Where have I heard that before? Oh, that's right. None of you. You were all non-essential workers during the pandemic, weren't you? Well, now it's coming back to bite those fuckers in the asses. Granted, probably not the same people who said we were non-essential at the time, considering they haven't completed a 2-year probationary period or whatever yet. But fuck them anyway. Bye-bye. Now you know what it's like to be called non-essential. Fuck you. The Trump administration was clear in the beginning and laid out their plan of widespread federal layoffs among workers if they refused to accept a generous buyout offer. It was pretty generous. The maximum that they could offer, legally speaking, according to Elon Musk. Trump officials told CNN that the layoffs, which are being called sweeping, quote, reductions in force, unquote, are expected to begin shortly after the Thursday deadline that the Office of Personnel Management set for workers to accept the resignation package. Boom. Boom. Slice and dice. Time for a chainsaw. Not a chisel. Not a chisel. Let's do it. According to far-left CNN, employees received termination notices via emails, form letters, and video calls. At OPM, dozens of probationary officers were fired on a Microsoft Teams call. Between 1,200 and 2,000 workers were laid off at the Department of Energy, including hundreds in the office overseeing the nuclear stockpile. Nearly 1,300 probationary employees, accounting for about 10% of CDC's workforce, were let go. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. They loved calling us non-essential over at the CDC, didn't they? Approximately 3,400 probationary officers were terminated at the U.S. Forest Service. Send them to California to clear out the frickin' brush that they've been letting build up for way too long, man. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. VA dismissed more than 1,000 employees, saying it would save over $98 million annually, etc., etc., etc. So, potentially lots more people on the chopping block. Now, how about this? Dozer sent this one to me saying, absolute Chad, on his post on X. This is such a Chad move. Dozer, you're so right about that. Reposting Breaking 911 at Breaking 911. Epic! Trump's mugshot is hanging in the White House. Here it is. You can see it over here in the background, right outside the Oval Office. So good. There he is with a mugshot. You just love it. Just love it. That's right. Own it. Own it. So good. So good. Hanging right outside the Oval Office in the White House is the mugshot. Oh, man. How about this? From Info General Jones. Breaking now. President Trump just dropped a hydrogen bomb on Big Pharma. Let's see what's up with this. 47 has signed a powerful executive order stripping all funds from schools requiring the deadly experimental gene therapy. I don't know if we can elaborate in more detail on YouTube about that, but who fucking cares? Let's go.
In just the last few hours, President Trump has dealt 3 massive blows to the death cult that is Big Pharma. This is historic. We're about to break it down right now.
Okay, that solves that problem.
So will the Department of Education have to handle that?
Yes, it'll go through the Department of Education. Okay?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a seismic development. This is an earthquake for Big Pharma and the death cult, mad scientist system. President Trump just signed an executive order minutes ago through the Department of Education, HHS, telling all the states and the so-called independent school districts, because they're really controlled by the feds, that if you mandate the deadly mRNA COVID shot to the children, you will lose all federal funds. This is the beginning of the end for Big Pharma. Trump knows he was set up by Fauci and others, and bringing in RFK Jr. is the way that he is making it right. I have that from the top, and it's happening now. On top of that, ladies and gentlemen, we have other huge developments that go in tandem. This just happened an hour ago. HHS Secretary RFK Jr. announces new vaccine injury reporting system, more accurate than VAERS, as we know less than 1% of the vaccine injuries get reported. Major studies have
less than 1%. They estimate that VAERS accounts for 1% of the vaccine adverse injuries that take place. Kind of like Bono's One Foundation, which was supposed to collect monies to help out like Africa and stuff. They pocketed over 99% of it, allegedly. Look it up. Bono's One Foundation, only 1% actually went to charity. Allegedly, of course. But I'm pretty sure it was proven back in like 2009.
Have proven dozens
1%.
of them. This is ultra massive, and he said they're going to start releasing all the secret files and reports because they've known what they're doing these on purpose. Depopulation, creating cancer, infertility, you name it, just like the fluoride in the water, and that's coming out of the water as well. And they've established the Presidential Commission on Making America Healthy Again, and they've set up a Maha caucus in Congress. This is real revolution. This is real Maha. This is Trump totally delivering. Trump's announced he wants to have a summit with China and Russia to cut defense spending by 50%. They're moving to
50%.
audit the private Federal Reserve. It goes on and on. They're inside the IRS right now.
Sig.
All the crimes coming out, just the tip of the iceberg. This is incredible, ladies and gentlemen. What a historic time to be alive, and what a great Valentine's present to the children of this country to not be poisoned and killed. And it's the beginning of discrediting the system. And then we're going to finally put Fauci and Bill Gates and the rest of them in prison. That's coming next. The indictments, ladies and gentlemen. But first, they're showing everybody the corruption, politically destroying these people forever, and then they will be brought to justice so they can never do it again. God bless you all for keeping InfoWars on the air. You're the reason this is all happening, and I salute and thank you. Please remember, we're still battling the deep state. They've not been totally defeated yet. We're in court. They're trying to shut us down as we speak, but your support keeps us on air. We have
Boom! Support InfoWars, AlexJonesStore.com. RFK Jr. in place. Trump signing bills. No more federal money for you fucking vaccinators. You mandated, the ones that mandated at least. We are moving in the right direction. The right direction. Alex, get off Ozempic. He's on the Ozempic of the sea. Tim Pool's gay music. Good to see you. Boom. Yeah, he's on that ultimate sea moss. The Ozempic of the sea, they call it. Hilarious. Hilarious. How about this one? Jones predicts that Trump is going to nationalize the Federal Reserve, which would be astronomically important. This would be huge.
Hi, Victoria Guido with Politico. Some of the president-elect's advisors have suggested that you should resign. If he asked you to leave, would you go?
No. Fucking asshole.
Can you follow up on, do you think that legally you're not required to leave?
No.
I'm not listening to anything Trump says. I'm not doing what Trump says. I'm going to do what I want because I'm independent. Except we can revoke that charter. Congress can do that, you snake. And by the way, Powell used to be really arrogant. He ain't looking too arrogant these days. And now you start to make noises about, well, maybe I will work with Trump. Yeah, maybe you better capitulate. And we're going to nationalize that bank, just so you know, buddy boy. And that means the people that own the shares in it. Mm-hmm. Thank you. That, you know that's coming next, don't you? The Rothschilds sent the British Empire at the Battle of Waterloo, crashed their stock market, saying the Napoleon won, got 98% of the stock market for nothing, and have run the British Empire since then and own our Federal Reserve. Well, guess what? We're nationalizing it.
You guys know about that? Battle of Waterloo, he ran back, like horse rode back, gave fake information about who won the battle. Stock markets panicked and tanked, and they bought up everything, and they've run the British Empire literally since then. Give me control of a nation's money, and I care not who makes its laws.
You heard it here first. Thank you. Oh, that's a lot bigger than taking Canada or Greenland or the Panama Canal. We'll just take it all. And then if MI6 wants to play some games, well, some people will fall down the stairs, won't they? See, this is a real war now, people. This is 1776 Part 2.
Yeah, baby. Let's go. How about this? D.C. panicking. The Washington, D.C. searches for a lawyer increasing over 400% since the end of December. Holy balls, man. They are freaking out. They're freaking out. Blood is in the water, and they do not know what to do. Here's a clip from the interview the other day with Mark Mitchell from Rasmussen, breaking down DC in panic mode over here. This is hilarious.
If you search criminal defense attorney, the number one place that's being searched right now is Washington, D.C. by a factor of 3.5 times higher than the next state. And all of those searches started on about January 28th. And that's when the news that Trump was focusing on all of these FBI agents that were going after January 6 people. So here's the thing. It's like all we've seen is accountability being brought, like potential criminal accountability being brought to just the FBI. And already it was enough to boost nationwide searches for criminal defense attorneys.
Hilarious. Salty muggerfucker. Good to see you. Boom. Thanks for being here. Happy Friday to you and everybody else. Ed, I see you. Mama Mac, Tim Pools Gate Music, Threeper, T. McGroin, Cannabis Connoisseur, Sig Monk, Donna. We saw Tulip 2, Indel. What's going on, everybody? Hoot Hallow. Thanks for being here. Good to see you guys. What are you guys up to this weekend? Got any fun plans? Ooh, Anderson Inc. Can't forget about Sean over there. Thanks for being here, everybody. Let's check out this clip.
I was talking about
That's
Google
right,
Trends. I have a tweet out there that's literally, I think, being seen by all of Twitter. But if you search criminal defense attorney, the number one place that's being searched right now is Washington, D.C. by a factor of 3.5 times higher than the next state. And all of those searches started on about January 28th. And that's when the news that Trump was focusing on all of these FBI agents that were going after January 6 people. So here's the thing. It's like all we've seen is accountability being brought, like potential criminal accountability being brought to just the FBI. And already it was enough to boost nationwide searches for criminal defense attorneys. So they're not going to be able to escape this thing. And it's like, I guess we'll see how desperate they get. But it's so transparent. Now, here's my concern is that this is all coming to light on Twitter. And a lot of people are on Twitter, and Twitter is a very effective way of disseminating true information now. It has gone beyond news. It's not news. It's not a talking head telling you what to think. It's literally people engaged in real-time discussion in order to figure out what's true or not. And it's the information velocity happening right there is very rapid. Like people are very fast able to debunk things, rebrand things, reframe things faster than the blob can keep up with now. The problem is that your average voter normie isn't really hearing this. And so what they're getting is like this noise. It's like, okay, we voted for Trump. There's some positive stuff. Oh, there's a whole lot of people clutching pearls right now. Oh, Axios is telling me this. My phone had a pop-up that said this. And it's just broad spectrum fog of war being put out. Now, I think people are happy because it's close to an inauguration and some good news is coming out. But I don't think that, what I do think is that there needs to be some effort to socialize the extent to which this has been a massive multi-trillion-dollar evil grift. And I don't know how they do that, but I think Trump, Elon Musk, they have very compelling content that they need to tell Americans about. And I think it would compete very strongly because nobody trusts MSNBC or CNN anymore. Nobody's watching them. And I think there's an information vacuum out there where this, I don't think you can just start rounding up people without preparing the American people for how deep this corruption goes.
Absolutely. But you just dropped another.
That's right. It's like how we had to allow Trump to have the election stolen from him in 2020 so that the people could see how bad and fucked up the leftists really are, who are just ruining the country, because that gave the impetus to put him in with a landslide and to put all these more hardcore people into these positions of power to get stuff actually done. Would have been impossible. So people wouldn't just accept arrests immediately without thoroughly exposing and making public all the information. That process is just beginning. So let's be patient, because if we start the arrests too soon, they'd be like, dictator, authoritarian, Hitler, So we got to kind of acclimate the public to get to that point.
Bombshell. And again, when I say epic, or bombshell, all of this is bombshell historic. This has been a giant crime syndicate. What's come out in Social Security, where 10,000 people are using the same one. They know the checks are being cashed. This is organized. And the government is involved heavily, and it's obviously been going on for decades and decades. And as they got away with it more, they got crazier, and they even convinced themselves the same thing's happening in Europe. We'll crash it and say it's global warming, and then we'll be the saviors once everything crashes, and give everybody digital IDs and make them eat bugs. And I mean, they really convinced themselves of a philosophy that isn't just a broken social contract. It's a corporate government system at war with the people. And now it's all being exposed. And as you said, one of the top searches is defense attorneys in D.C., criminal defense attorneys for government employees. I mean, this is the point of maximum danger, though, because this is when some of them are just going to go crazy. Unless you've been hiding under a rock, you know about the...
Yep. Maximum alert. Maximum alert. Keep your eyes on the prize. Be aware. Be awake. Who knows what's going to happen, guys? Who knows what's going to happen? Here's another chart about this that Gator shared from Mark Mitchell over here. Gator 5266 at Gator 5266 21636. We love Gator. He's showing here comparing the searches for criminal defense lawyer 3 times higher in District of Columbia than anywhere else. Nebraska and Louisiana coming in second. Hilarious. But they're also Googling, quote, countries that have no extradition treaty with the U.S. And they're also Googling offshore bank accounts and statutes of limitation. Heard Schroyer talking about that with Mike Flynn on InfoWars just shortly ago. How about this one? And to distract from all of their crimes and money laundering, slush fund stuff coming out, they're screaming about constitutional crisis. I've had this on the docket for a couple days. We just haven't gotten to it yet. They need to mix it up a little more, Elon Musk says. Maybe use a thesaurus or something, showing one of the classic compilations that occur when they put out their new talking points to the controlled corporate media cartel. And they all use the same verbiage. Imagine my shock. Here we go, zooming in. NPR, are we in a constitutional crisis? New York Times, Trump's actions have created a constitutional crisis. CNN, analysis, as Trump team overhauls government, a constitutional crisis looms. Opinion, is there a constitutional crisis? How is civil society responding to the U.S. constitutional crisis? From Brookings, The Hill, Warren, we've got our toes right on the edge of a constitutional crisis. The Washington Post, analysis, what is a constitutional crisis? Well, right now, it's a talking point being deployed by the controlled corporate media cartel's masters. The Bulwark, WTF 2.0, are we in a constitutional crisis? God, so frustrating, man. We actually are in a constitutional crisis, but not the one that they're claiming of. It's being revealed that the country has been run by a bunch of kleptocrats for decades now. That's the constitutional crisis, the overthrow of the murder of JFK, the CIA taking over the government, then leeching money from our savings to bolster and centralize power worldwide under their control, and to launder and enrich their own pockets through USAID and the Department of Defense and all these black budget operations that they operate, stealing our money to do. And that's the constitutional crisis, that the U.S. government was overthrown on November 22nd, 1963. If not decades before that, that's the constitutional crisis, that the Constitution is not active, that we haven't had a constitutional government since at least the 60s. That's the constitutional crisis. So, now that we've got that covered, it's unbelievable. The current freakout is the constitutional crisis. We actually have a real constitutional crisis, and it's not them, Trump uncovering all of your fucking crimes. It's the crimes themselves, man. Yeah. With the greatest respect, says Marcy Joy, I don't think they're truly freaking out. They are either, 1, too dumb to come up with their own theories, so they copy, or 2, they've all been given marching orders. I'm betting on number 2, Marcy Joy says. Definitely number 2. They're getting marching orders. Oh, what's up, Elmo? Hey, kids, today's propaganda phrase of the day is constitutional crisis. Oh, man. So good. I don't really care, Margaret. That's where I'm at with this whole thing. Fuck you, Margaret. How about this? Luna leads task force on JFK files amid transparency debate. The U.S. Oversight Committee has formed the task force on the declassification of federal secrets, led by Representative Anna Paulina Luna. I heard she was a stripper 10 years ago. Man, I understand that because she's super hot. Aiming to review and declassify records to high-profile events like the assassinations of JFK, RFK, and MLK, along with other documents of public interest. Despite the initiative towards transparency, there's a significant public skepticism regarding the necessity and efficacy of this task force, with many on social media advocating for direct release of documents without intermediary steps. There's two different declassification operations seemingly going on at this point, one from the executive branch and one from the Congress, and they're separate and they're parallel, and they each have their own methods of doing stuff. Cannabis connoisseur, Toyn in the chat, Poiple, what's up? Helping keep the lights on. Thanks. Keeping my eyes and my retinas being destroyed. Thank you for ruining my eyesight. Appreciate it, brother. Loki, we'll get some delicious treats for you, tweet. Thanks, Cannabis Connoisseur. Appreciate you, brother. Wendy, I see you over there. Good to see you. So, let's see what's going on. She posted this yesterday. Do you have questions about the new task force on the declassification of federal secrets? Here's all you need to know. We got the executive branch who can straight up declassify and drop stuff. We got these guys trying to work with the executive branch to get stuff done. I think that together, this is going to be...
The task force on the declassification of federal secrets has been organized under the House Oversight Committee and represents a historic step towards transparency and delivering answers to the American people. President Trump has already taken steps to deliver to the American people information that for far too long has been kept under the federal government's lock and key through classification. Under Executive Order 1417-6, President Trump has directed the federal government to prepare reports regarding the declassification of records regarding the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. The task force will also examine agencies' knowledge and possession of documents regarding other areas of significant public interest, including UAPs, the origins of COVID-19, the Epstein client list, and details surrounding the death of Osama bin Laden in Operation Neptune Spear. Our first hearing is March and will focus on the assassination of President Kennedy. We have already engaged with relevant agencies to provide briefings this month regarding the universe of documents connected to these areas of interest. Upon receiving these briefings, we'll move immediately to review documents and, if necessary, earmark them for release to the American people. The task force will travel as necessary to conduct research and meet with relevant witnesses and experts who may also be called to speak in a public setting. We will work closely with the committee to provide transparency through hearings, reports, and the release of documents. It's important to note that we don't have documents yet, and we also don't hold declassification authority. The task force seeks to operate with coordination with the administration to ensure that the American people receive the documents needed to answer questions that we have been all asking for far too long. We will regain the trust of the American people through transparency.
What you guys have a promo code too to get $3
Yeah,
off.
2 mics. Our promo code's
mics.
always 2 mics.
Yeah,
the number
use,
2 mics.
Use promo code 2 mics. You'll get $3 off a month on your monthly subscription. It'll bring it down to $12.99 a month. Or you can do a yearly subscription as well. Yearly subscription is $149. We also have a giveaway every
Oh shit, I was
right
muted.
now we're giving away a black and gold 50.
I just heard from a little bird that Kyle Rittenhouse is on Dead Red Media on 2 mics live. So let's check it out for a couple seconds. Let's see what's going on over here. Kyle on the right.
Somebody's going to win that. Last quarter, somebody won a B&T rifle fully decked out. It was about a $4,000 setup. So every month you're a member, you get another entry into our quarterly giveaways. And if range day happens again, we're going to have two winners of quarterly winners that get to come to range day and shoot with all the big gun tubers and gun influencers and shoot machine guns and stuff that we have a lot of fun with. As long as we haven't guaranteed that yet, but
I think we're going to be rated by two mics in a moment, which is really cool.
Matt Carricker just retired, Demo Ranch. He just retired, and it was his range day. So they got to make sure they're going to do range day again. Best wishes to Matt. He wants to spend a bunch of time with his family. He's one of the biggest gun tube YouTube channels
to see him go.
It is going to be real sad.
Matt, if you're watching this, Tactically Inappropriate would definitely love to have negotiations on taking over your channel.
Well, see Killian in our chat says, I will come shoot with you guys. And definitely not my Schwartz. Says, Kyle, I live in Rockford, Illinois, very close to Kenosha, where you had your problem. I followed your case closely, and what you went through was complete bullshit. God bless you. And we have common censored in the chat. So, guys, I mean, you gave me a lot of time. What do you want to leave everybody with, man? Tell us what your future plans are, and then tell us where we can find you guys.
Absolutely. What's the address of the gun store?
5851 Highway 90 in Milton, Florida.
You can find me at 5850, whatever Chris said, on Highway 90 in Florida.
Thanks for the shout out, guys.
You can find me on Twitter at This Is Kyle R and Instagram This Is Kyle Rittenhouse. You can also find us at TI Inappropriate on X, and then we're Tactically Inappropriate on Rumble and YouTube.
And if the Democrats ever take over Florida again, you'll probably find us in a Florida State prison somewhere.
In Minecraft, you'll find Chris in a Florida State prison. I'll just pack up and move back to Texas.
Well, it's funny. It's funny because the same people that were losing their minds about you, Kyle, for how long, they were the ones bailing out the people that were attacking you, and they're also the ones that are screaming that they're going to fight and unleash some weapons on the American people and all of Trump supporters. Isn't that hysterical? Don't you find their hypocrisy? Like, what did you think? Like, maybe I got one more question for you, maybe. What do you think about their hypocrisy, and did you ever think about suing the fuck out of the media?
Well, unfortunately, I have no legal standing thanks to a judge in Ohio that ruled that you can call people whatever you want if you're a public figure. And unfortunately, I have accidentally made myself a public figure, unfortunately. But my thoughts on that is I wish I could sue them. I wish I could collect.
Wait, you didn't get $22 million from Whoopi Goldberg?
No, I got $20 million. No, I didn't get any money from anybody.
You're not floating millions?
At least it's got a sense of humor, though.
I pay all my legal bills out of pocket now with money that I have to work for. And it's unfortunate and it's expensive. But I'm the one being sued, and I'm being sued for $20 million in the Eastern District of Wisconsin.
Isn't that crazy? The guys that attacked him are suing him.
Yeah, I mean, it's believable in whatever weird age that we went through for the last 4 years, and the only thing that we could hope for is that we get back to some type of fucking normalcy, and whatever judge just gets in front of isn't batshit crazy, and dismisses this case. Because I mean, once again, if you ask me, it's 100% clear you were attacked. When I said I was having you on the show, with the first image that came across was you on the ground getting hit by a skateboard. It's like, if that image doesn't say this guy got attacked, I don't know. I don't know what other image kind of will.
Yeah, and I mean, I had the dents in the back of my head to prove it. That anybody that says I didn't get hit with a skateboard,
damn, you got dented.
Dent in the back of my head says different. So,
Mike, isn't it crazy how
that's right,
how split we are in this country, that we can't come together over this USAID stuff and the government wasting all of our tax dollars and laundering our tax dollars.
That just shows you how brainwashed the left is. This should be a common sense, universally applicable issue where everybody agrees that we don't waste taxpayer money. So that just shows how far gone they are at this point, which is brutal. Very brutal. Let's, if you guys want to check this out, I'll post a link over in the chat for you guys. You're always welcome to hop over to Two Mics Live as they have Kyle Rittenhouse on. We'll look forward to hopefully potentially being raided by them shortly. Big shout out to Kyle. Thanks for standing up for your community, doing good work over there. getting rid. I won't say it. I won't. I won't elaborate on that. We'll just move on to the next topic. Good job. 2 Mics Live getting them on there, doing good work. Boom. How about this? J.D. Vance just absolutely roasted the leaders of Europe for being a bunch of sniveling babies when it comes to Elon Musk. Let's listen to what he said here.
And expressing opinions isn't election interference. Even when people express views outside your own country, and even when those people are very influential. And trust me, I say this with all humor, if American democracy can survive 10 years of Greta Thunberg scolding, you guys can survive a few months of Elon Musk. But what German democracy, what no democracy, American, German, or European will survive is telling millions of voters that their thoughts and concerns, their aspirations, their pleas for relief are invalid or unworthy of even being considered. And expressing opinion.
If American democracy, bad JD Vance, never say that dirty, damned word. If the American Republic can survive 10 years of Greta Thunberg's scolding, you can survive a few months of Elon Musk. You pussies. Oh, man. Indel, I love that Vance called out Europe's leadership. Mama Mac, J.D. Vance had an epic speech in the EU. Sorry if the volume is all fucked up over here. Jumping back and forth. I gotta, hopefully EVMux will do something to give me a little bit of control over that. Because if I could just add a plugin before the audio output, I could just one plugin. All I need is one plugin slot. I could fix it all with one plugin. So we'll see what happens with that. Oh, man. Telling the truth has become a crime in many of these countries. Yeah, truth is the new hate speech. George Orwell over here, during times of universal deceit, telling the truth becomes a revolutionary act. And that is the quote that you see at the beginning of the documentary that woke my ass up in 2007, at least started the process. America, From Freedom to Fascism by Aaron Russo, the producer of Trading Spaces with Eddie Murphy, who then went on to expose the Federal Reserve and the income tax scam. Legendary. I think he was killed. Some crazy fast-acting pancreatic cancer or something like that. Sucks, man. R.I.P. Aaron Russo. How about this? AOC's webinar on ICE rights are under DOJ review. Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Occasional Cortex, hosted a webinar aimed at educating individuals, including non-citizens, about their rights concerning encounters with immigration and customs enforcement. That's one way to put it. The webinar included information on how to handle ICE interactions legally, such as not opening doors without a judicial warrant. Tom Homan, referred to as the Border Czar, has indicated that this initiative is being reviewed by the Department of Justice to assess if it impedes law enforcement officials, potentially leading to legal consequences for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And she's so freaking weird. We did see the clip of him yesterday saying that, we referred it to the DOJ. Is it impeding? We'll find out. We'll find out. We also have Tom Homan teaming up with New York City Mayor Eric Adams. Alex Jones saying public safety is number one, not partisan politics. Sorry, Alex. Gotta disagree. Individual rights are number one. Those who would choose safety over freedom deserve neither and lose both. So public safety is number two, Alex. Individual rights is number one. Trump border czar Homan teams up with New York City Mayor Adams to arrest and deport all criminal illegals from the city. Plus, Democrats aiding and abetting sex slavery of alien children. Are we talking ET children here? Like AOC will be prosecuted. Sorry, that was an inappropriate joke. Never joke about child sex slavery. But they said alien. I couldn't resist it. Let's check out this clip.
You were frustrated that he wasn't doing enough. He wasn't keeping up his end of the deal.
Well, look, I've been on the network for 4 years, and I've called the mayor out many times for not stepping up when it comes to public safety threats. But I tell you, when I sat down with him, I saw the cop in him. And he really does want to do the right thing because he is a cop. He's a lifelong cop. And so he wants to help take public safety threats off the streets in New York, make New York safer. He also wants to help find these missing children. We got 300,000 missing children. That many of them are here in this city. We know that. We got to find them. And we'll be working with his intelligence division, his officers, to save these children because many of these children are in forced sex trafficking. Many are in forced labor. We need to save them. And I think everybody can agree to that. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you're on.
Yeah, people want to hijack this narrative and turn it into a political narrative where we're saying we need to have public safety. I requested the meeting. I reached out to his team and said, we want to sit down.
Goddamn right he requested to meet, because otherwise he's going to fucking jail. There's still federal charges against him, man. So he's like, come on, I'll do anything I can to get out of these federal charges. No, I mean, that's part of it. But the only reason the federal charges happened was because he was fighting back against the illegal immigration in the first place. So he wants to get rid of the charges, but he also wants to actually handle the immigration, because this seems like something that he's been, upset about for a long time at this point. Yeah. Yeah. Indel, one of Trump's smart moves was turning this little punk. Absolutely, Indel. Absolutely. Braden McGroin, good to see you, bro. Hope all is well. Boom. And have a kick-ass weekend, brother. Have a kick-ass weekend. Thanks for stopping by.
This has been an issue I was talking about before the election. Spring of 2022. You look at these quotes over and over again. We need to go after these dangerous people in our street. And now I have someone that understands that narrative, and we are fighting together to get it done.
That's a mayor at least coming over halfway.
BFFs.
The issue is some right-wingers go, Trump's selling us out. Homan's going after the criminals, the hardened ones first. They're all criminals, obviously, get here illegally, and they want to make them permanent underclass and voters and all the rest of it. But you got to get the drug dealers and the human traffickers and the sex traffickers first to get all the networks, and then go after the NGOs to cut the head off of the Democrats' political power.
Plus, they'll freak out, kind of like if we started out with arrests for all the people involved with USAID and everything before we expose the Federal Reserve money and the DOD money and all the other money that's out there being wasted. People would say authoritarians, fascists, dictators, Hitler. So same thing with this. If we start arresting, grandmas and everything like that, first, they're going to scream the same stuff. So we got to start with the hardened criminals and then build the networks that we need and get all kinds of information from those operations that then we can, boom, get them all.
And then they're going to start deporting all the other people as well.
But, Tom, you got AOC out there, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Congresswoman, putting out a webinar, doing a webinar to help illegals avoid, I guess, apprehension, giving tips about how to continue to remain in the country and ultimately game the system.
And I sent an email today to the Deputy Attorney General. At what level is that impediment? Is that impediment? I'm not an attorney. I'm not a prosecutor. Is that impediment? Is that impeding our law enforcement efforts? If so, what are we going to do about it? Is she crossing the line? So I'm working with the Department of Justice and finding out where is that line that they cross. So maybe AOC is going to be in trouble now, but
for sure,
I need the AOG to opine on that. But because there's impediment, it's impediment in my opinion. I'm not a prosecutor, but we need some further guidance on that. But again, if we have to take every federal dollar out of the city, we'll do it. I mean, we're done.
The government fears Alex Jones, who has the largest country.
Most extraordinary. Under the Obama administration, in his second term, he announced
Commodore Smelling McGroin. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Oh,
with a child or anyone that has a child that's unaccompanied will be given instant amnesty here in the United States. And the NGOs had already done this in Europe. They had it all set up. And the mules, the drug dealers, which have 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds, 6 months old, they loved them where they couldn't talk because they couldn't say, it's not my mommy, it's not my daddy. And they would use them, in some cases, some of the children I found up to 15, 20 times. Back and forth, over the border, getting in with a child. Congress didn't like it. Passed a law, you got to DNA test somebody. It's a 24-hour test, very inexpensive to see. It'll tell you within less than 24 hours, is this person a mother, a father, an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, first cousin, second cousin?
But we do have the solution for these child traffickers now. Thanks, Reaper, for sharing this in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, start your wood chippers.
ZBI portable chippers are the most productive and reliable in the world, consistently outperforming the closest rivals up to 50% every day.
After due process,
and the Chip
FBI's
Max
asshole.
484 is no exception. With a high production capability of 100 plus tons per hour,
That's 100 plus tons of pedophiles per hour. Thousands and thousands of pedophiles per hour, man. Per hour. We could get the whole job done in like a day.
the Chip Max
After due
484
process.
challenges even the best loader operators to keep up. Compact yet enormously productive, the Chip Max 484 is an extreme duty biomass production workhorse, providing owners with years of trouble-free service. Let's take a closer look at what makes this machine the best in its class. The main components, such as the rotor, chipper box, and feed system, are significantly
Look
stronger
at that thing
than
go.
any other machine on the market. The 12-foot by 48-inch feed conveyor is designed with troughed sides, impact plate in the bottom,
That is actually
heavy-duty head and tail
impressive.
pulley, and is driven by a rugged high-torque Poclane hydraulic motor. The 30-inch upper feed roller also features a built-in high-torque Poclane motor and lifts to full height for full and easy access to the heavy-duty rotor and anvil.
You could not pay me to go in there and service that fucking thing. Nope. Nope. Mama Mac says, our son has named his wood chipper the Pardon. Love it, Mama Mac. Love it, Mama Mac. Thanks, Reaper, for sharing that, bro. Hope you're feeling better. In other news, we had a case filed by blue states to remove Elon Musk as the head of DOGE. And it was delivered to far-left, Trump-hating, Cuban communist, lawfare executing Judge Tanya Chutkan is asshole. You remember this bitch? The hearing was set for earlier today. Fret not. We have positive developments, but we're going to go through what exactly was happening first. In November 2024, President Donald Trump won a re-election in a landslide, winning the popular vote, etc., etc. Thursday, 14 radical leftist attorneys general filed a lawsuit against President Trump and his DOGE audit team. These radical leftists claim that Elon Musk, one of the most impressive, creative, and brilliant minds of the last century, is operating with unchecked power because his DOGE team is working diligently to find and expose fraud and waste in the U.S. government. These people are insane. Democrats are totally against tracking down the fraud in the U.S. government. I wonder why. Maybe they're the perpetrators. They have been protesting every day and making threats. So this big-ass lawsuit landed in the hands of lawless Judge Tanya Chutkan is asshole, the Trump-hating Obama judge who's ruled consistently against President Trump in any case that made it to her desk. Her record reveals blatant bias against conservatives and an unrelenting dedication to advancing the radical Marxist agenda. Elevated to power by Barack Obama, Chutkan has become a symbol of the weaponization of the judiciary, earning her moniker, quote, Antifa Woman of the Year, for her unapologetic allegiance to leftist extremism. In essence, Judge Chutkan is Susan Rosenberg in a robe, a revolutionary hiding behind a gavel. Today, she decided if President Trump has the right to hire Elon Musk to investigate the fraud in the government, be his, he's saying, go freaking figure. This case was filed by a coalition of blue states challenging Elon Musk's role as head of DOGE and will be heard and ruled on by Tanya Chutkan, the judge who gave Jack Smith everything he wanted in the January 6th hoax. Will be interesting to see how she rules. She has ruled. We'll get there in a second. I found this post from Kentucky Princess in Exile at Pike Coin Justice on X. She says, at Doge and Elon Musk, I documented Judge Chutkan's misconduct in this one DC circuit case, 22-5042. Judge Chutkan had ex parte comms with the DC U.S. Attorney's Office about the case, including granting a motion that the defendants would never have to file an answer in perpetuity when the motion only requested a short extension. She had an ex parte meeting, never on the record, with DOJ, then issued a minute order denying me. Ex parte got caught because she allowed at that meeting that DOJ paralegals could get electronic service, while she, a self-represented party, was denied. So this is more what we heard Andrew Branca, Law of Self-Defense on YouTube talking about yesterday. A way that you don't need to impeach judges. You can just remove them for bad behavior, ex parte type shit, giving certain parties preferential treatment in cases. Remove her. Don't even bother to impeach her. So, sketchy stuff here. Link will be in the description if you want to check out more of the details. So, Laura Powell, Esquire, posted this one. The state's request for a temporary restraining order stopping DOGE from operating was just heard by Judge CHUTKAN. She did not sound inclined to grant the temporary restraining order, TRO. She kept emphasizing the request was too broad and the potential harm if the TRO was not granted, it was too speculative. Oh, man. Crazy. During the hearing, Judge CHUTKAN strongly rebuked the attorney representing Maryland for citing the Wall Street Journal as the source of his facts. Wow. CHUTKAN actually stepping in the right direction over here? What is going on? Is the universe imploding in on itself? Judge CHUTKAN ordered the plaintiff's attorney to submit a proposed temporary restraining order by tomorrow at 5 p.m. Much of the hearing was spent trying to pinpoint what it was that they were asking for. So here we have Kyle Cheney saying CHUTKAN is not buying the demand for extraordinary emergency relief. The states might have a case, she says, but not necessarily for an immediate restraining order. The states say Musk likes to work the weekend, so he might cause harm this weekend. CHUTKAN says that's not enough. CHUTKAN's main issue is the breadth of what the states are asking for. She says she understands states' concerns about the, quote, unpredictability, unquote, and a pace of DOGE's actions, but a TRO against Musk and everything he does seems too broad. She says, hearing over, CHUTKAN says, quote, I will rule in due course. I will rule in due course. And now we have an update. Jordan Fisher, at Jordan on the Record, posting this over here saying, new. Judge Tanya S. CHUTKAN told 14 states today she can't grant a prophylactic order to stop what billionaire Elon Musk and DOGE are doing at federal agencies. Quote, you're essentially asking me to shut down the government, CHUTKAN said. So here's the report from WUSA 9. Looks like, is that CBS? Judge, I can't grant prophylactic order to stop Musk, preemptive order, in other words, preventative order, Musk and DOGE access at federal agencies. Federal judge said 14 states who sued over billionaires, quote, virtually unchecked power, unquote, in the administration needed to show more concrete harm. Is this a video about it? Let's see. Nope. Washington federal judge declined Friday to immediately grant a request from 14 states to block Elon Musk and the advisory body he heads from accessing the federal government systems, saying they hadn't proven they faced any irreparable harm. The only irreparable harm they're facing is potentially being prosecuted for crimes they committed, in which case it's justice, not harm. On Thursday, attorneys general from 14 states filed a lawsuit in federal court in D.C., arguing actions taken by Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, to cut government spending and drastically reduce the federal workforce violated the Appointments Clause of the U.S. Constitution. In their lawsuit, the states said Musk was wielding, quote, virtually unchecked power, unquote, without a proper authorization from Congress or meaningful supervision. Quote, as a result, he has transformed a minor position that was formerly responsible for managing government websites into a designated agent of chaos without limitation and in violation of the separation of powers. How is this a violation of the separation of powers? This is all in the executive branch. Yeah, Mama Mac. Follow Unique Prepping over on YouTube, guys. Z-Man, Zach, a uniquely abled individual who loves prepping and building communities over there. Make sure to sub to Unique Prepping on YouTube, guys. Do it up. Do it up. Yeah, exactly. How, T-folks, how? Chutkan, a 2013 Obama appointee who previously presided over the Justice Department's election subversion case against President Trump, called an emergency hearing Friday afternoon, starting at 4 p.m. to hear a request from states to bar Musk and his employees from accessing sensitive government data systems or directing agencies to fire workers. Speaking of for the states, Adam Kirshner, a senior assistant attorney general with the Maryland Office of Attorney General's Federal Litigation Unit, said Musk was roaming unchecked through the federal government and causing a, quote, constitutional crisis. You wouldn't know a constitutional crisis if it skull-fucked you to death. Just saying. Your idea of a constitutional crisis is fucking retarded. Federal judges around the country, including D.C., have issued temporary restraining orders barring or restricting DOGE to access certain federal systems and halting the Trump administration's efforts to place thousands of foreign service workers on administrative leave. But Chutkan said what the states wanted was far broader than previous orders and would amount to, quote, grinding the government to a halt. You're essentially asking me to shut down the government, Chutkan said. We're asking you to shut down a constitutional violation we haven't seen in this country, Kirshner said. You give me a fucking break, dude. A constitutional, like, we're getting rid of the fraud, waste, and abuse. If that's a constitutional crisis, I'm Emperor Palpatine. President Trump has said publicly, and the Justice Department attorneys have repeatedly argued in court, that Musk serves in an exclusively advisory role, and that any steps he takes require the approval of the White House. So he's not unchecked. The White House is literally giving him his marching orders. So, like, everything that they're saying is asinine. An exclusively advisory role requiring the approval of the White House, the DOGE office, and Musk's role at its head were created last month via executive order to implement what Trump described as his DOGE agenda. I love that they called it DOGE, by the way. Hilarious. Hilarious. Donna, why are foreign workers within the Social Security office? Sometimes when I'm reading stuff, it's like I read it and I don't actually comprehend it because I'm focused on just reading it. So if there's foreign workers, that's fucking crazy. It's crazy. Musk and DOGE have taken credit for terminating hundreds of millions of dollars in federal spending, more than that, bazillions, and the dismantling of the U.S. Agency for International Development, U.S. AIDS. Oh, man. While Chutkan seemed open to the argument Friday that the states could eventually prove Musk was exceeding his constitutional authority, she repeatedly stressed that at this point in the case, they would fail to get the order they sought if they couldn't prove imminent and irreparable harm. Despite multiple opportunities, Kirshner and another attorney, Anjana Samant, deputy counsel for impact litigation at the New Mexico Department of Justice, were unable to provide any specific examples of harm that would befall the states over the 72 hours of the President's Day long weekend if Chutkan didn't act immediately. I can't give prophylactic TROs, Chutkan eventually said. Chutkan asked the states to send her a proposed order by 5 p.m. on Saturday to review. So who knows? Who knows? With no promises, she intended to grant it. Today could just be a front, making it seem like she has logic and reason and critical thinking, and then tomorrow she'll just fucking grant it and sabotage us. Oh, man. Who knows? Hopefully it doesn't play out that way. The hearing was just one of several in D.C. federal courthouse Friday, with plaintiffs seeking court orders blocking or rolling back decisions by the Trump administration. While Chutkan was hearing from the group of states, not just a few courtrooms down, U.S. District Judge Ana Reyes was considering a complaint from 8 federal watchdogs who argued they were unlawfully fired by Trump. Earlier in the day, U.S. District Judge John Bates heard a case seeking an order blocking Musk and DOGE from accessing sensitive data at the Department of Labor. there is no sensitive data to someone appointed by the president to go in. The executive has total authority and access to all of this stuff. He can delegate people to look at shit. This is outrageous. I would not be abiding by any of these rulings. I would be arresting motherfuckers left and right. Call me a tyrant all you want. Justice will be served. In the end, I will be proven correct. Like Chutkan, both judges expressed skepticism about the complaints, and neither took any action Friday. So that's good news. Everybody got fucked today. That was part of their operating, their corrupt rogue judges. Couldn't go through with it. Although not as lucky in this case, as a judge blocks Trump's transgender youth healthcare funding ban. Oh man, somebody look into this guy. U.S. District Judge Brendan Herson has temporarily blocked an executive order by President Trump aimed at prohibiting federal funding for sex change surgeries and hormone treatments for individuals under the age of 19. The judge's decision halts the implementation of the order pending a lawsuit by affected families. The ruling has sparked significant debate, with critics arguing it supports the availability of gender-affirming care, while supporters of the order express concerns over the procedures being performed on minors. So here's a story about it. Fuck these fucking rogue judges.
All right, breaking right now, a federal judge has just paused President Trump's executive order restricting gender-affirming care for people under the age of 19. A group of patients' families suing to block the order. It is now on hold while the case works its way through the court. So that is the latest on that. We've seen a lot of this, obviously, push and pull in the court system as all of this moves very quickly. Also, all right, breaking right now.
Crazy, man. Crazy. U.S. District Judge Brendan Herson just blocked President Trump's executive order on stripping funding for sex change surgery and hormone drugs for minors. Groomer! Shame on you, the dishonorable Brendan Abel Herson cunt. Oh, man, these people, you fuck with the kids. Can't even finish that sentence. Can't even finish the sentence. These people make me sick. It's not helping to affirm people's delusions. If somebody has psychological problems, you don't encourage their psychosis. It's like common sense has just disappeared entirely. Based Mike Lee saying, extraordinary writ of mandamus. Breaking from Lives of TikTok, U.S. Judge Brendan Herson just blocked President Trump's EO on stripping funding sex change surgery and hormone drugs for minors. Why are they so desperate to mutilate and castrate kids? Yes, why? Colin Rugg, activist, federal judge, blocks Trump's executive order banning sex change care, quote unquote, for minors. Says he blocked it because he thought Trump was denying, quote, the population even exists. They don't exist. There's no such thing as a transgender person. It's a fucking delusion. I could say I'm a snowman. I'm not a fucking snowman. You're a chick, you're a chick. You're a dude, you're a dude. Trans people don't exist. Fuck you. Only a creep would want children to have sex changes. Judge Brendan Herson was appointed by President Joe Biden. During a recent speech, Herson opened up about his activism as he ranted about his version of, quote, democracy to graduates at the University of Maryland, Baltimore. Just 8 months later, Herson is now defying democracy by halting what the country voted for. Let's get the Hurl Cam ready for some of this.
The world that I walked into is the same one that you're marching into today. It feels very different today. You march into a world where so many people seem completely detached from our system of government. Many Americans are hopeless, they're lost. Many feel that our institutions, all of our institutions, our courts included, are completely partisan and dysfunctional. Many feel like our democracy doesn't work. If people vote at all, some feel like their vote doesn't matter, and some even feel like their vote isn't even counted.
You're a fucking judge And you're up here referring to a republic as a democracy. Boot. Afuera. Impeach. Ooh, man, these people, man. People make me sick. Yeah, okay, Ed. Okay, fine, Ed. We're going to terminate the YouTube broadcast at this point. Go Rumble and exclusive. If you're watching on YouTube, come join us over on Alt Tech. Sorry to ditch you if you can't make it. We'll be back on Monday for more Common Censored. Hope you have a kick-ass weekend. But you can make it. Open up a new tab. Come join us on Rumble or X. Make an account. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. All right, if you can't make it, we'll catch you on the flip side. Until then,